I love before and after pictures, videos, whether it's a transformation of a junky car into some like amazing work of art, seeing a structure get built, kind of the before and after. People, when you see someone like who was in like really bad shape and then they transform into like all healthy, and you're like, that's pretty cool to see transformation in different ways. And this is Backyard Adventures with Andy. This is the 1,000 subscribers special, and it's also time for a little bit of a tour of the garden. I thought, what a great way to kind of bring all that together and do a transformation of kind of showing what was the yard like and how has it become what it is today. And then who knows, down the road, maybe there'll be another before and after that shows kind of the next phase of it. So I thought we'd go ahead and do a little bit of a before and after, show you some shots, talk about it a little bit, show you the yard again, some of the cool plants and things going on here, and celebrate 1,000 subscribers. So thanks to all of you who have already subscribed and enjoyed today's video. So stepping out here into the sunlight, it is the 1,000 subscriber special. It's also the tour of the garden here in the summer 2022. Great opportunity to kind of show you some of the maturity of the plants, how flowers are blooming and just things are changing around here. But wanted to really spend some time showing you some of the before and after shots. So as mentioned before in the intro of this video, it's pretty cool to see how things transform over time, whether it's the human body, whether it's a car, a structure, the yard, things like that. So being Backyard Adventures, I want to tell you a little bit about the story of the yard, the backyard of where a lot of these videos take place. This channel started less than a year ago, so pretty much back in the holidays of 2021. My kids had been doing YouTube stuff, and I was like, I should try this out. It'd be kind of fun. I enjoy this sort of thing. So anyway, I moved here back in 2008 from Tacoma, Washington, about an hour south of here. Housing market moving up here, partly with where my job was. I was a youth pastor. Income was a little tight compared to maybe a lot of people who lived in the area. And so we were a little bit, we had a very narrow scope of what we could afford. We could get an older house with not much yard. We could get some yard, but not house. And so we were looking at a few places, and we found this place, and here's some pictures you'll see. Had a great green backyard. It's about a half-acre lot, close to where we wanted to be. Had a lot of potential. The structure of the house had some undesirable things that we desired to change, and potential. So it was affordable. We could make it work with our budget at the time, and so we jumped into it knowing we love playing in the yard. We love trying to build, learn things that we can do. So let's see what happens. So one of the very first things you can see here in the video is that with these pictures, there was no fence, and having young kids at the time, little ones running around, biking, playing, we knew we needed to get a fence. So one of the first projects we did is we built a fence. We quickly started adding some greenery. I think my grandpa at the time had given me $100 as a gift for a birthday gift, and so went out and bought a whole bunch of blueberry bushes and planted those. Started kind of terracing different parts that were not quite flat and kind of getting things going. We had done some basic gardening in our last house and in my young adult years, so thought it's time to get a garden started. So you can see here we've got the basics of a garden going. Had some fun with that. Even those raspberry bushes in the garden, those eventually got transplanted and have become quite the row of raspberries even today. So anyway, we started building up from that. We did have a patio slab. We had this slab that was basically poured into the house. There was nothing else to it. The shed, you can see, was it was a 12 by 14 box. It did have a roof. Things generally stayed dry. It was very uneven. It was starting to fall apart, but it held together and it could hold our tools for what we needed at the time. This is what we had to work and to start with. And we just started taking what we had with time, what we had with resources, and just creativity, and started trying to make the most of it. As things went along, we were able to start adding more plants, fun. We put a lot of time into the grass. You know, you can see me mowing the grass with my son, and we're like, okay, let's keep this thing green. Let's start watering, fertilizing, and taking care of that. So that was something we could do that was very manageable and fairly affordable. So phase one really was getting a grip of what the yard was like. And so from phase one, we shifted into what I call as phase two, and that's where we took kind of just surviving and maximizing what we could, what we had, and just the basics to let's start investing time, let's start investing resources, thinking about what's going to mature over our decades here, hopefully. And so that's where this patio cover came and all the things around it, which added a lot of beauty. We started kind of rearranging where trees and bushes were. And we didn't have what I call our phase three is, which is this superstructure of shed and studio and workshop and all that. That was coming more recent. That was a COVID thing that just happened to work out just right, and was just a true blessing from God on that one. But let's take a look at the yard and see what it looks like on this sunny day in August 2022. You may not even recognize this, but here's the structure, and then the patio. You can see maybe you can see the concrete there, but I mean, everything is kind of grown, matured with the flowers and the patio structure there. But coming through here, we've really been blessed by this structure. We didn't really know what it would turn out to be like, but it really adds a lot. And then some of you have watched the old film from a couple months ago where we built this new arch, and I'm starting to fill that out. Come back and talk about that later perhaps. This was a new one I just added. I didn't make a video of this one because I kind of made it up as I went, but created an herb table for my wife's birthday. And so this will be kind of a garden table, kind of a walkway to her studio. And there's that bamboo back behind there. That's a pretty incredible story. I'll make a video about that someday, talking about some ideas with bamboo, having the fuchsias. But yeah, the shade we get from this thing and just some of the enjoyable times. Moving back through here, hey, there's that Rose of Sharon we transplanted a couple months ago, one of the early videos. That was actually one of my first popular videos that was not about statues. And it is just about to start kicking out blossoms. You can see these, I don't know if you can see in the video here, these looks like grapes or something, these balls. Oh, there's a flower kicking out. So there's the Rose of Sharon. Oh man, there's so many different things I think about. We did this arch here we built. If you haven't seen the video, it's a pretty simple build, but I had a hot tub over there early on, if you remember the hot tub pictures, and took that hot tub out years ago, and we had this arch that was there. Well, it was time to get rid of that. It was starting to rot out, so all 3 rotted posts, I took those out and created this new archway. So you can see here, this is wisteria that is growing up and over the arch, and over the next year or two it will cross, meet up with the ones on the other side, and really create a beautiful greenery similar to what we have here from the older wisteria that I had some years ago. I put this wisteria up. So speaking of old videos, this is actually one of the first videos I ever made. It was making a rose garden. I'll put up some pictures here. You can kind of see what this thing looked like as I was making it, but had the structure we were building, and then I knew we're gonna have some areas around it where I wanted to have some flowers. So we came through and dug this up. I kind of walked through in one of my old videos, my first videos. It wasn't shot very well. It was actually very shaky. I'm almost embarrassed to keep it up there, but you can see I came here and got some different roses. There's one more that hasn't bloomed yet. It's just about, you can see just the very tip of it. It's called Neptune. It's almost a violet, kind of heading into that purple shade. And so I'm excited about that one. But yeah, the rose garden's looking really nice. I got I think it's called the John Paul II rose. It's a white, it smells very citrusy. It's an amazing white rose. Got a couple different dahlia things, and I'll have some more dahlia videos. In fact, you can see here, there's some white dahlias that are tipping over, so I need to go back and stake those in. But got some shorties, got some tall ones. Those are doing pretty well. Most people don't pay attention to trees, but here's 2 American sycamore trees, ginormous trees. They've actually been topped once by the power company about, 7 years ago or so, 6 years ago. But they are just doing exceptional. Brought those things on. You can actually see the pictures of what these look like when I moved them. I picked them up and got them for free from somebody locally who needed them out of their yard. We got the filbert trees. There's the garden back there, constantly changing. In fact, I just went and picked up some thornless blackberries. I'm going to add a row of those. But here's the nuts. These are hazelnuts called filberts. You can just see under here, almost invisible. If I can get those focused. Yeah, you can see just lots of nuts. And I am ready for the squirrels. I've already gotten one squirrel. It went to live at a friend's house. Well, I don't know if the friend knows it lives there, but the squirrel no longer is here. They always win each year. I just made a raspberry video. It's gonna be coming up next week. I was actually gonna post that this weekend, but then I realized, oh, I got the 1,000 subscriber special I gotta come up with. And so we'll talk about taking care of raspberries after they're spent. Got the marionberries back there. Here's our blueberry row. Had to put up some netting because they just devoured the blueberries on this side. Oh, here's a Let's do a little follow-up on the Cosmic Crisp apple tree. So this tree is a Cosmic Crisp apple tree, and I took a Honey Crisp, which is actually one of the parents of it, of the Cosmic, and I grafted on a branch of that. So that branch is really healthy there. Starts the pink, it's come alive, it's doing really well. That's a Honey Crisp apple there, and then the rest of that is Cosmic. So I'll probably actually add another type of apple this next year. And they got a couple of pear trees with the grafts. You can't even see where the grafts happen anymore. Oh, here it is right here. Through the leaves, there's the black tape right there, and that's doing really well. Over here, I've got black tape right here. It's got just doing exceptional. So again, not a whole lot of before and after pictures, but you get a little glimpse of what things were like when we started here. And if you go back to some of the old videos, you've probably seen some of the different projects along the way, especially the whole superstructure thing that was built out there. Didn't really touch on that. Didn't even touch on the statue stuff. A lot of you who subscribed and followed some of the stuff going on this channel, it's because of the statue videos, and been a lot of support for that. So thank you for those of you who jumped in there. And if there's some things you'd like to see more videos about, let me know. I'd love to be showing you that. I do have a beaver video that will be coming this year. That's my next statue I plan on making, as well as I need to remake my tortoise because that mold is getting worn out, so I'll talk more about that in the future. Man, there's berries and vegetables and trees, and it just never stops. It's a fun hobby, fun adventure, for me at least. I don't know for you, but thanks for your support. If you have any questions, do put those in the comments. If there's video elements along this journey, tell me when you started. What are some of the videos you remember? There's a couple of those memorable ones like the rat video and those kind of things. So anyway, comment about that stuff, and hopefully we'll have another couple of years of this and see where this takes us. But have a good life.